Okie dokie, let's get this ball rolling. Welcome back to another cheeky little podcast episode. I'm going to try to keep this one kind of short, but you know what? I really love doing Ask Alisha, so my little advice column, and I have 69 responses on my little form, and there's some great questions here. So I'm just going to dive right into this, okay? Let's just get it started. It's a beautiful Sunday. Do I need to do like a little catch up? Q and I are house hunting. We are renting to buy this time. We might even just rent at a house and then buy a different one. Renting to buy is usually like when you rent the house and then you buy the same house in a year or two. But I don't know. But right now we're renting, and it is so, I'm gagged right now because it's so affordable to rent. You can find a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house and rent it for $3,500 a month. And it's like a brand new build, brand new construction. You've got a backyard, you have a garage. Like it's a house. Brand new, okay? And what we're currently paying here, like including all the fees, the parking fees, the pet fees, etc., it's about $5,000 a month to live in a downtown apartment. So I would fucking love to save $1,000 a month. And that's the era that I'm in. I want to save money. My savings account is, I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of her. I was in crippling debt 2023. I was in about like $50,000 worth of debt, okay? No joke. And then I worked my ass off to pay it off, and I did. I'll never get over it, but when I paid it off, I was like, ah. And then after that, I put most of all my income into savings, which is why I don't walk around with designer bags, even though I want to. I'll buy a knockoff, okay? If it's $150, I'll buy that knockoff, Bookie. But anyways, I digress. Why you haven't seen me with a luxury car purchase yet? Because I've really been trying to build my savings account. As an influencer, a self-employed person, having money into savings because you don't really know when your next income is going to happen is super important to me. And I never, ever want to be in crippling debt ever again. Ever, ever, ever. Especially because I didn't go to college and I don't have student loans. So do you understand what I'm saying? Like 2023, remember my hair was falling out? I don't know if y'all were here for that. My hair was falling out. I was depressed. I had gained a lot of weight. There was a lot of shit going on. And then 2024, I worked my fucking ass off and I saved almost everything. And I still want to save, okay? So anyways, we are renting. We're house searching right now. We're house hunting. We found a house, but we're not sure it's the one yet. So we're still kind of tentatively looking, but that's the tea. I think kind of like that's the only update right now. There's really nothing too exciting. So let's get into these Ask Alishas because y'all gave me some really solid questions that I'm obsessed with. Thank you so much. This first one, I love it already. Let's start off. How to have good communication with your partner or spouse. Sometimes I feel like my point doesn't get across and I don't want to come off as nagging either. This is a literal perfect question for me because Q and I we barely fight. But when we do, it's not like yelling, screaming, throwing things, but it's like both of us feel not heard. I can't even begin, like it's like talking to a wall. For me, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. I feel like for him, he probably feels like he's talking to a wall or like an idiot or something, but I will argue that case because I'm like, you are the one who's not communicating. I know, it's so bad. It's just like when we do argue, it's bad because we don't move forward. We can't move forward, and it's wild to me. One of my main things is I used to just bow down and I cave. I don't like confrontation. Like I used to keep my head down and whatever. And then if I really felt passionate about something, like when you're in a toxic relationship for years, right? It is so fucking hard to just be seen and be heard. And it's like you have to beat yourself down to be seen and to be heard, right? Like you have to beat yourself down and beat yourself up for this person to be like, okay, yeah, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? You have to belittle yourself so fucking much just so that they can give you a sliver of like validation. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? So I'm not budging. I'm not backing down. Q's not backing down when we had this argument, whatever. We recently had like a big blow up. And I really want to emphasize this. We do not scream at each other. We do not throw things. But it's like we hit a point where I was like, I am now questioning. And I've never questioned the relationship before, but now I'm like, I don't think this is going to work, right? That's how crazy. That's like that My chest is literally clenching right now. It's literally going like this. I'm like, okay. So we go to therapy. I have to recommend therapy because for people in a relationship, here's the Q and I's dynamic. I've been to therapy. I'm not bragging. This is a defeat moment for me. I've been to therapy 4 times in my entire life. I've been to therapy in 2021 and 2022. I was going to therapy because I was dealing with F-boys while I'm dating, and then like obviously the 8-year breakup. So I have met my inner child. I've met with her. I've discussed things with her. I've worked on healing her. I've worked on understanding her and how I act now and da-da-da-da-da. And one of the things I've learned through therapy is that every single last one of us is we're still an inner child. Like the child is still very much alive within us. We're just grown up now, okay? So when you are in an argument with someone or you're disagreeing or you're hurt, it is your inner kid being triggered by something in your past. So when Q and I argue, I recognize that something's going on with him, but he doesn't, because he's never been to therapy yet. Now, we've been to therapy now, but before me, never been to therapy. And I know there's something going on, but I don't know what the fuck it is, because I'm not Q. And I'm sitting here like trying to get through to him and trying to da-da-da-da-da, and it's not happening. And that's where the disconnect for us was. So I was like, we need to go to therapy. And Q, when he gets angry, he says shit he doesn't mean. And my second big love language is words of affirmation. So if you say, like, I don't say shit I don't mean. I really don't. If I am angry with you, you won't hear from me, and it's not because I'm being a bitch. I'm dead ass. I am practicing what I've learned, and I'm going away for a hot second, okay? Because I can get real spicy real quick, and I'm calming the fuck down before I respond, because words are very important to me. And I, for example, will never say to someone that like I'm with or that I'm in a relationship with, I'm done, we're done, I don't want to do that. I would never say that unless I dead ass meant it. Like, we're breaking up right now. So for Q to get mean and say some crazy shit that he doesn't mean when we are fighting, it's, ooh, I got slightly emotional right now. It hurts. It hurts me. And regardless, so I'm saying we need to go to therapy. He's like, here's his mindset with therapy. He's like, people don't go to therapy unless they're at the end, like they're at their breaking point. And I'm like, no. Me, I've been to therapy 4 times. Like, yes, did I go when I was at the breaking point? Yes. But did I go because I wasn't at a breaking point and I knew that there was some damage from 8 years? It was like, yes, that's why I went. Even though I didn't feel like I was damaged, I'm like, surely, Alisha, 8 years with this dude? You fucked up somewhere, bitch. Like, go. Seek the help. So I did, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's like a car. You maintain the car. You change the oil on the car. You rotate the tires. You don't get a brand new car. You keep up with the car. Like, you keep up with the maintenance. So I'm telling him this. He's so against counseling. We finally go to counseling, and he dead ass has this breakthrough, which I'm also dying to know. Why is it that he cannot move forward from this point? Like, he has to hear that he is right before we can move on. And I'm over here like, I can't tell you that you're right here because unfortunately for you, you're not. Okay, this sounds toxic. Let me explain. I'm just going to give you a little tidbit. He said something he didn't mean in a fight, and it was not okay. He apologized. I'm doing quotes. If you're not watching the video, I'm doing quotes. This is how he apologized. I'm sorry for saying blank. Do I feel like it was justified? Yes, but I probably shouldn't have said it. So here's me. Yes, you apologized, quote, but you immediately took it back in the next sentence. Like, you immediately justified. You that's not an apology. Like, do you see what I'm saying? So we're sitting in the counseling session for an hour and a half, and we're talking about this for like 30 minutes. Hold on, let me put my phone on D&D. I just realized it wasn't. And me and the counselor are like, Q was like, I apologize. Did I not? And he cannot move forward until me and the counselor addressed, yes, you did apologize, but he can't move forward. He's like, I apologize though. That's me apologizing. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's you apologizing, then we have serious issues here because that's not an apology, Buki. You know what I mean? So anyways, and I'm not going to budge because I'm not going to sit here and bend when words are very important to me and you apologize, but you took it back in the same sentence. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And I'm not going to do it. You're not going to be the father of my children if that's how you decide to A, talk to me, and B, apologize. kiss this fat ass good the fuck bye. Like, you're joking vibes. Like, you know what I mean? So this is what I mean when I'm saying, like, I'm being stubborn. It's really not toxic. It's just a standard that I refuse to budge on because I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I will never do that again. But Q cannot move forward until we acknowledge you apologized. And then when you throw the but in there, he still doesn't get it. He's like, but I apologized. And that came from a childhood of not being seen or heard when he was in trouble. And we finally got there. It was like very end of this session. We finally get there and he has this breakthrough. And he looks me in the eye and he's like, when we fight, I feel sad, but it like manifests itself as anger. But he feels sad because he doesn't want to disappoint me. And he like looked me dead in the eye and he said that and he was just like crying. So my answer to you after the whole long ass spiel is just go to counseling. Because even though I knew there was a very valid, like I know he was hurting. When we fight, I know he's hurting and that's why he's being angry. Like, I'm a woman, bitch. At the end of the day, Mookie, I'm going to make excuses for you because I love you. A. B. What's that? You don't have to lie to girls. If we like you, we'll just lie to ourselves. Like, that's same. So I already know you're saying these things that you don't mean because you're hurting, but guess what? I'm sorry, but it's still not okay. And if I can't figure out why, if I can't talk to you and we can't get down to the bottom of the why so that you don't do this anymore, then we need to go to therapy. Therapists are fantastic because they actually study for this shit. Like, they're not like, here's the thing, your best friends are great and they're gonna give you some solid advice, but therapists actually study things to do. Like, there's like a checklist. Here's how when you start to feel like this, you need to do this. It's a solution. They study solutions to all the things, all the traumas, every single trauma, and that's why they're certified and da-da-da-da-da. So I highly recommend therapy. Now, if you're with a dude who doesn't want to go to therapy, you got to put your little foot down and be like, it's either me or therapy. Like, do you want to be in this? Do you want to be for real? Then you try it. You need to try it. And he's got to go to more than one session. And if you even get a feeling about your therapist, like, oh, I don't like this therapist, go find a new one. It's fine to bounce around. It's kind of like dating. We got really lucky. I went with a life coach. Okay, I'm going to give you a recommendation. Go find a life coach. Relationship therapists are great as well, but if you just find like a regular or degular therapist, you want someone who specializes in relationships. This guy was a relationship therapist for like 20 years, and now he's a life coach, which I love life coaches, by the way. They are like, if you feel blocked, like you want to go start a business, but you feel blocked, go get a life coach for like a month. They will literally be like, hey, so here's why you can't do it, and here's what you need to do to overcome this little speed bump or like this wall that's blocking you. It's iconic. So I know that Q needs a little bit of a mix of, we need a relationship coach, right? But he personally needs a cheeky little life coach, so that's why I chose my dude, okay? He was great. But it's normal, if you meet a therapist, it's normal to like, you don't always click with the first one, and that's okay. That is 100% normal. So my recommendation, dead ass, go find someone who studies this shit, who's good at it. Okay? Sometimes I feel like my point doesn't get across and I don't want to come off as nagging. I love that. This is your partner. This is, for me, Q is my best friend. I don't want to nag his ass either. Like, I want him to do stuff because he wants to, not because I'm nagging him to do it, period. But we had to come to like an understanding of our inner children's being. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so true that like when you meet a stranger on the street, just understand that you're looking through the eyes that you see an adult, but you're looking through it's an inner child in there. Everyone has an inner child. We're all fucked up, okay? Unless you're not, which God bless you. God bless it. But for the most case, like, we're looking at the inner child. So I love him and I want to speak to him, but he hadn't even, like, it took us an hour and a half. And the fact that he got there on the first sesh, I'm gagged. I knew it was therapy. I was like, all you need is some therapy, Buki. Please, Min, will you just go? Shut the fuck up and just go. It is so life-changing. Go get a life coach if you don't want to talk about well, I mean, you're still going to talk about your feelings, but like, anyways, I digress. It never clicked. Like, we were sitting there for a good long minute and I was quiet most of the time because I didn't need to talk. I already knew when we fight, Q, I feel defeated. My inner child feels defeated because of the things that happened to me in my childhood where I had to shut the fuck up and nod and say, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, until I could finally go to my room and cry. And so it's like when I argue with someone, I feel defeated before the conversation ends, which is toxic. That's not okay. So he feels disappointed, but it took him an hour and a half to figure out what that was. Do you see what I'm saying? So go seek professional help. That sounds so fucking bad. But that is my advice. It is worth the price. It's worth it because once you connect with that person, you yourself, once you connect with that inner child, you can really start to heal because you're like, oh, here's what's happening. It's so tea. Okay, how do I get over my ex? Me and him have been together on and off for 10 years, and I feel like he's my person. How do you get over someone you planned a future with? We started talking again to work it out in the beginning of this year, but he recently ended things again. He isn't good at communicating and often views anything I say as complaining, and I found out he's talking to someone. All right, my girl, in just this small paragraph alone, you are telling me that this man has not chosen you in a decade. Now, I too was with someone who didn't choose me for almost a decade, so I'm no shade. But I'm going to tell you this. Something happened in your childhood. We're going to crank it on back, Buki, to make you feel like that situation that you've placed yourself in is completely normal because it's comfortable. My parents did the same shit to me. And so when I met this dude at 19, I thought, oh, I know how to do this. I know how to earn love. I know how to fight for love. And it was all wrong. It was all wrong because that's how I was taught. So what you need to do now is unlearn that shit. And you need to focus on you. He has shown you for 10 years that it is not you. It doesn't matter if he showed you for like 4 months in a row or 6 months in a row or even a year that he loves you and da-da-da-da-da. If he still is going back and forth, he's not choosing you, period. And somewhere along the way, you've learned that someone who doesn't choose you is like love. You have to earn the love. You do not have to earn love, okay? I told myself that when I left my ex-fiance. You don't have to earn it, you don't have to earn it. But until you experience that, you're just throwing words out into air. Do you know what I mean? It's really hard to know that that is actually dead ass true until you experience it. But guess what? You're never going to experience that if you're with this dude who has told you for 10 years that you're not it. Like, I'm begging you to leave. Now, the steps that you're going to take. Unfortunately, you got to block this man. And it's not because you're a bitch. I have said this a million times, block an ex, and it's not to be a bitch. It is because your brain has found comfort in communicating with this ex and seeing what he's up to and wondering if he's going to text you and talking to him. And you need to break that off right now. Your brain has a little codependency on this ex. It doesn't matter, by the way, if you're in a relationship for a year, block him anyway. I don't care. It doesn't need to be 10 years. Block the ex. If he's an ex, block him. Block him on all the things. He cannot communicate with you. I had my ex, well, he didn't have any social media, and I didn't need to block him, but, hold on, pause. There's like air at the back of my throat. I couldn't block him because we had been together for so long that we had like shared accounts and shit like that, and sometimes I'd have to get in contact with him to ask about like, hey, did you get this bill in the mail? Or like, hey, what's the password for this? Or hey, have you paid this? Like stupid shit, right? But what I ended up doing was deleting his contact. So his phone number, which I was with him for 8 years, I had the number memorized, okay? But his number would just pop up. Here's what that did for me. Before I move on, blocking an ex trains your brain not to depend on not to depend on them anymore. It's like a scientific thing. You have to do it. No contact. You have to do no contact. Absolutely. And when you find yourself thinking about this person, go do something that gives you serotonin or dopamine, whatever the drug is that makes you feel good. Go. Get outside, take a walk. Go shopping for a little bit, get a new foundation. I don't care. Go get a coffee. I don't care. Go call a friend that makes you laugh. I don't give a shit. Don't scroll on TikTok, because when I was single and going through my healing phase, there was a lot of toxicity, like toxic. He was cheating on me, and then I found him cheating. He was talking to my best friend, TikToks all over. And I was like, wow. So I had to be like, not interested. And like, I remember one night I typed into the search bar chicken recipes. I know how to cook chicken. But at this point, I was so tired of seeing toxic shit that on my TikTok, because it knows. The algorithm fucking knows. It's watching us. It's listening to us as we speak. But I needed to like see someone cook a fucking slab of chicken for once. Like, so do that. Now, I couldn't just block my ex. Ugh. But what happened was, we were together for how many times I'm going to say this? Doesn't matter. His profile pic was a picture of him and me. And it had his name, and I think I deleted the emojis, but like it still had his name. So anytime his name would pop up in my phone, my brain would instantly be like, oh, like that, because it's been doing that for 8 years. Like, hello. But if I deleted the contact profile, the whole contact, and it was just his number that popped up, my brain would immediately think, who the fuck is this? Because it's a number that is like a random ass number, and then I'd look at it, and then I would recognize it. But my initial reaction was, ugh. And let me tell you something, that shit works, okay? I don't know what the science is behind that. I don't know how, who, where, I didn't read about it. I just did it. I was like, I need to stop seeing this fucking name because that's pissing me off. And I just did it, and like every single time, I'd be like, ugh, oh, And it was a completely different change in mindset. So do that. For me, I couldn't picture my life without this dude. Ugh. You'll get to a point where you're in my shoes, where you're like want to gag even with the thought of that. So what did I need to do to get over this dude? Romanticize my life without him. What is my perfect morning? What does it look like? Now, did I have like a job? Actually, no. Thank God. It was right after COVID. But I had an office job until COVID happened. And then the owner fired, not fired, but like let go of 90% of the company. So if I had an office job still, it would be like getting up 30 minutes earlier, journaling. What am I grateful for? There's a 5-minute, is it? No, it's a gratitude journal. I'll put it on, it's already on my Amazon, but I can like pin the link for you. And it literally takes 5 minutes to fill out. It's just, what am I thankful for right here in this moment? And then I would romanticize my latte. I am making like the best, bougiest latte in the world. I would take extra time to get ready because I always feel better when I take care of myself. I would romanticize my lunch breaks for sure. I would read a new book. I would talk to my friends more because they're great distractions. Love those hoes. When I come home, I'm going to cook myself a really cute fancy dinner. Take yourself on a date. Okay, go to the library. Do a book. This is all shit that I've done. I still have a library card. Rent a book. Go take yourself on a wine date. I did like a wine flight at Crew Bar, I believe. It was so fun. I love that. I would sit in the corner by myself. If anyone tried to talk to me, I'd be like, ugh. If it was a girl who tried to talk to me, I'd be like, hey, not that I'm a lesbian. It's a safer zone. And romanticize your life. Like if you were your dream girl, what would you be doing? And work around the shit that you can't, like I'm sure if you were a dream girl, you wouldn't have a job, right? Slay. Same. But that's something that's unavoidable. You gotta live your life. You gotta pay your bills. So work around and work with that. But make a dream life. Deadass. What would you wear? Down to like the shit that you'd wear to bed. Okay? What do you watch? What do you eat? What do you listen to? What are you consuming? You are what you consume. And sit down with a journal and romanticize your new life and make it something that you want to look forward to. Because you can't just sit around and wallow in misery that he's no longer in your life anymore. Now you're not looking forward to your life. Now you don't want to wake up the next day. Like, hello? So really, truly work on romanticizing your life and fucking do it. Buy yourself a new Stanley. Just do it. And block him. I'll punch him in the face if I ever see him in real life. Because 10 years? Fuck that shit. I can't wait till you're on the other side of this. And then you look back and you have instead of being like, when you think of him, that sounded sexual, sorry. No, you're going to be like, ugh, okay? Ick, period. Ooh, overcoming childhood trauma, parents cheating. Therapy. My mom cheated on my dad for 15 years with multiples. Okay, it wasn't just like one dude, which if that would be just divorce my dad and marry him. Like, can you imagine? But it caused a lot of hurt in my life. Like, trust issues started with my mom, not even a boy. It was my mother. Can you imagine the trauma? Unbelievable. You need to go to therapy. Like I said, therapists have the tools to give you the solutions that you don't even know you need. And then the hardest thing that you're going to have to do is learn how to trust again. And that is scary. It's very scary. I don't like that for you, but it's necessary. And you won't be happy until you learn how to trust someone blindly again. They say ignorance is bliss. Well, yeah, if you find someone who's trustworthy, then you're safe to be ignorant. You know what I mean? And you're probably going to get hurt. This is not very fun. This is not a fun conversation. But when you get hurt, you also, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to say when you get hurt because it's probably going to happen. This is planet Earth. Okay? Build up your confidence in you so much that when you get hurt, you can go through all the emotions. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be mad, but then you just like pick yourself up and move back on. What I think for me, what I learned from my childhood is like my mom didn't change for 15 years, okay? Very long time. Even after that, it was like, couldn't have a conversation with her, a normal conversation, stuff like this. So I learned to always be on guard. And that's because when you have a traumatic childhood, unfortunately as a kid, it is, even though it's uncomfortable and you hate it, it's still a comfort zone. So when you get out of your parents' house and you move on, your brain is subconsciously looking for that comfort zone again. Then you find it in friends and you find it in relationships and da-da-da-da-da. And then eventually at some point in your life, you realize that unfortunately the common denominator is you. You are attracted to people like this, and it's like, okay, why? And that's when therapy comes in, and you get to touch base with your inner child and figure out what the T is, and you work on, when you romanticize your life, you build up your confidence, because you are now living your dream life. You're your dream girl. I'm my dream girl. Like, I'm fucking great, okay? Am I perfect? No, but I love myself anyway, flaws and all. Like, I fucking love me. Okay? And I never could say that before. So build up your confidence so that you feel this way about yourself, so that when you do get hurt, you can feel all the things. So if someone comes into your life and they're devaluing you, or, bringing it down, the life that you made, Buki, it's kind of like, hey, I don't have time for you. No offense. Like, no offense. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I don't have time for you right now. But if you add value to my life, you fill my cup, you heal yourself. What was the question? Me? We yapping right now? Yeah, so therapy. Sorry, that's the answer. And I hate to say that, because I don't hate to say that. But I know that there's a ton of people who say, yeah, therapy, everyone should go to therapy. And then they don't, they haven't been. I'm like, just go to therapy. Like, actually, just go to therapy. Going through a separation is one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'm trying to stay positive and focus on my mental health. I have good days, and some I just fall apart and cry about the loss of someone I shared my life with and thought would be my life partner. I've followed you for years now, and I love how you've grown and always stuck to your gut feeling. I know time heals everything, but how do you continue to advocate for yourself when you're down and constantly blaming yourself for choosing your own happiness? I've talked about that. I've answered this question in all my other responses. When you romanticize your life, you create your dream life. You create I'm my dream girl. Like, okay, I'm forever going to be pursuing a better version of myself, but how I am right now is amazing, and I love me. And it's because I worked hard to build my dream life. Like I wrote it down and I practiced it. And I allowed myself to have days where I would mourn the loss of someone it's like the death of somebody. Like, this person's no longer here. They've died. And me doing no contact with them, they are dead. Like, they are actually deceased. They are no longer in my book. And so I'm looking at this book, right? I close my eyes. I'm looking at this book of my life. And all of a sudden, like, which is crazy, but the main character is missing. Them, not me, them. So I'm like, I am now the main character. What do I want my life to look like? And that's why it's so important to romanticize the shit of your life. Like, do it. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy without someone like back here. I don't know. He would always nag about shit I wanted to do. And now I don't have that. And it's glorious. So do that. Your standards will raise. You'll build your own confidence. Keep your promises to yourself. If you say, Alisha, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week, go to the gym 3 times this week. I don't care if you just walk on the treadmill. Do it, though. Keep your promise to yourself, because that's how you can learn. That's how you train your brain to trust you. Oh, I can trust me because I keep my word to myself. And if you can't keep your word to me, why are you here? Like, I am such an advocate for this. It literally changes your fucking life when you just build your dream life and do little things that make you really happy. How to be more confident? Keep your word to yourself. It's like literally a science. I didn't do the study myself. Okay, never went to college. But keep your word to yourself. You will build up your confidence if you know how to keep your own promises to you. I can rely on me. I can trust in me when I'm like, yeah, I do what I say I'm gonna do. no matter how difficult it is, break the habit of being lazy. Break the habit of being too comfortable. If you really want a life that like makes you sit and just want to cry because it's like, oh my God, I never thought this was possible, keep your word to yourself. I'm going to eat more protein. Fucking do it then. You know what I mean? I'm going to get up 30 minutes earlier and slap some makeup on before I go to work. Fucking do it then. Like, literally do it then. I'm going to start going to bed earlier. Do it. Actually do it. And then your confidence will just like build. Especially if, I mean, most of our goals that we set for ourselves are to be a better person. Like, we want to be more patient. We want to be more fit. We want to be healthy. We want to be eating good stuff. We want to, you know, like have a skincare routine in the morning. We want to get more sleep. So all these things that we want to do are typically to better ourselves. So when you begin to do it, yeah, you're going to be a better version of yourself. But also the psychological thing behind it is when you keep your promise to yourself, you trust yourself. You're like, oh, I can do that. I know I can do it. It's like not even a question in your brain because you've done the action. Your brain responds off of action and like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So that's my tip on how to be more confident. I have a lot of relationship advice, and it's basically like how, and I think I've answered most of them. It's basically how to get over an ex, how to be confident, da-da-da-da-da. So let me see. Someone says, I'd love to hear your journey. I feel like that's a whole other podcast because my lore is so deep, it disgusts me. Okay, this one says, tips on working out and doing Uplift, which is the little workout app that I use, especially in the gym. It feels like it's so hard to do. What do you mean by that? Do you mean it's hard because you feel like people are watching you? Or, like, I wish you would give me a little bit more. Or do you mean it's hard because I mean, she does do intensive ass workouts. My thing is, I push myself, but I don't beat myself up. Am I a pretty little princess? Maybe. But my body is great, so you can't tell me it's not working. I will do alternatives. Now, with Uplift, she sometimes shows you alternatives, especially if you're pregnant, like an alternative to the workout that she's doing. But maybe you just need to pause it and go Google, hey, what's an alternative to a step up? You know what I mean? And do something lighter. Go down in weights if it's like really, truly hard. For me, not only am I doing Uplift in a gym with at least 10 other people around because I'm in my apartment gym, but I'm also recording myself with a mic and I'm talking. So I don't want to hear shit. If you're like, I'm uncomfortable, buck up, bitch. But what I like to do, like, what helps me is my headphones are noise canceling. Were they expensive? Yes. Did I pay for them? Yes. But they are worth every fucking penny. If there's a baby crying on the plane, you cannot hear that motherfucker. Like, just turn noise canceling on and it's dead silent. So when I have mine on and this noise canceling, all I hear is Lindsay. So yeah, I may see people, but it's a lot easier for me to lock in when I can't hear anyone else besides the damn basketball is going, but I can't hear anyone talking. All I hear is Lindsay. It's very easy, much easier for me to lock in. I'm also the type of person, like, I don't care if you're staring at me. Like, if you're a creepy dude, then I do care, but like, I'm gonna create my content anyway. I don't know how to explain this. I've had years of shooting content on the street with a tripod. Years. I've gotten catcalled, I've gotten horns honked at me, like I've gotten the craziest shit, and I'm always by myself. So I've already overcome my anxiety with it. But you know, it's not to say I'm perfect. There's still some moments where I'm like, I don't even want to fucking be here because there's too many people here and I want to scream. I just lock in with the noise canceling. That's my thing. That works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but that's my recommendation. Splurge, add it to the credit card. It is worth it. Okay, I've got a couple screenshots. Let's go through these. Oh, I want to finish it with this one. Tips for moving in with a boyfriend for us hyper independent. Love this question. I am not as hyper independent as I used to be. But when I met Q, I was very hyper independent. I couldn't even film with him here. I was like, please leave, okay? My tip is, if you're gonna move in with someone and you are an independent girly and you work from home, like my home is my humble abode. I'd be here. Kick the man out. Not all the time. Make him go to a coffee shop. Make him go, I don't know, if you live in the suburbs, make him go to the gym. I don't know. Make him leave though. Like, he's gotta go. Make him go do the groceries. I don't know, but he's gotta go. He's got to get out of the house and give you your private time. For me, like, I wouldn't be able to film this podcast if Q was here, because it's not even if anyone was here. I feel like I'd be a little self-conscious, which is a me thing. But until I get over that, get out the house, right? Now you need to have, let's talk about the apartment or the house that you're living in. You need to have enough space. I have a room that I can close the door and it just be me. It's my bathtub. Shut up. I'm a bath bitch. I could lay in there for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I kid you the fuck not. I lock in. I bring snacks. I bring wine. I bring an iPad. I bring a book. I'm locked into that tub. It's me in the tub for life. We're gang. Q has a room. He has his own little separate room. We have a 2-bedroom. He's got the second room, and he can just shut the door and lock and play his little video games. And I don't give a shit. Like, you do that, Bookie. I'm going to be in the living room watching Severance, watching Gossip Girl. I'm going to be cooking. Like, I do. It's like he's not here. You know what I mean? So if you're going to move in with someone, make sure that you have enough space. If you can afford it, okay? I hope that you can, because it is key to just be able to, like, shut the door. And it has to be, like, your own space or, like, his own space. Right now, I don't really have my own space. We share the bathroom. But he has his own space, and he can shut the door. I can shut the door. And now guess what? I have the apartment. You know what I mean? Or you could have your own space, but it's yours. Does that make sense? And then, like, if y'all both work from home, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he goes to a coffee shop. I don't know, that was a bad one. Monday, Wednesday, he goes to a coffee shop. Maybe you go to a coffee shop if he needs some alone time, but he should be the one who leaving. You know what I'm saying? Girl, do you? My thing is, make sure that you guys respect the alone time, because it's needed. If you need to go out to dinner by yourself, do that. My relationship with my friends are still going on strong. I love it. I hang out with them, obviously, without Q, all the time. They come over here. If Q's not here, he's not here. If he is here, he's in, playing his little video games. Like, you know what I mean? It's especially, like, if you guys are dating, and this is to the girl who asked that question, you guys see each other all the time anyway. Also, wait, pause. What's really big is couples having their own separate rooms. You could do that. What's wrong with that? Just because we grew up with our parents living in the same, like, room doesn't mean we have to, especially if it didn't work for some parents to learn. You know what's going to work for you. So maybe y'all do get a 2-bedroom, and then 1 bedroom is yours and the other bedroom is dead ass his. And if you want, you sleep in separate beds for a night. You trust this man. It's not like he's going to be acting shady and shit in the bedroom. You know what I mean? You've been together for a year, Bookie. You could trust him. And if not, you know who the fuck to call, okay? You know what my number is, bitch. So anyways, that is my advice. I think I've yapped for long enough. I love you. Thank you for coming to this podcast. And if you watched it, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching it. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm going to address this, and I really feel like I shouldn't, because it's only one comment, so that tells me that there's only one person that feels that way out of 1,000. And maybe there's more of you guys, and you guys are just silent. I don't really know, but I don't really care. But you know what? One is enough for me, because this is insane, and I want you to know that this is a you thing. This is not a me thing. This is your perception, your projection, and you dead ass need to chill. If Quincy having a platform and trying to be a content creator gives you the ick, then you need to unfollow him. It does not give me the ick. Okay, if it did, I would not be here. But I think you've forgotten where the fuck I come from and what my history is, where I was with the same dude for 8 fucking years, where me being a content creator gave him the biggest ick of all time. And it was embarrassing for him and then shameful for me, all the things that I went through. I will never make my best friend feel the same way for pursuing a dream of theirs. Does that make sense to you? Let me break that down for you. I will never make one of my best friends, because I also think you forgot who the fuck this man is to me. So let me correct that shit. I will never make him feel less than or embarrassed or ashamed to pursue a dream that he wants to do. It does not give me the ick to see this man fucking try. And if it gives you the ick, that's crazy. You even addressed it at the end. I know this is audacious. It is audacious. Your reality that you need to check that shit real quick, because that's fucking crazy. Also, make sure to keep God first in everything. Just as he gives you so much, he can easily take it away. Wow. I don't even want to know what you're like in real life. That is not how you address anyone's relationship with God. I guarantee you, if I ever met you in real life, we would not be friends. I'll probably be nice to you because that's who I am. But if I got to know the real you, which is this paragraph right here, we would not be friends. Your mindset is insane. Why would I be with someone who gives me the ick? Use your brain, Bookie. Don't say shit like that to me. Okay? All right. Thank you for your time.